Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Technohead and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm a former member of the video game industry and now I'm a retro gamer and collector, and I've been making a series of videos that have been analyzing the changes in value over time of games from classic systems. We've already done a few videos for great systems like the Atari 2600, the ColecoVision, the Intellivision, the Odyssey 2, and the Atari 5200, which is my personal favorite since it was my first console. If you haven't seen those, I definitely suggest you take a look at the playlist and give them a watch. Today we're going to be looking at a very unique and special system. We're going to be taking a look at the Vectrex. For those of you that don't know, the Vectrex was an early portable game system, meaning that it had its own integrated screen, which would allow you to take the Vectrex wherever you wanted, plug it in, and play video games on it. The screen itself was special in that it displayed vector graphics, similar to what you might see in classic arcade games like Asteroids or Major Havoc. So basically, all the games are in black and white vector art. They used overlays and it had incredibly crisp and unique graphics for the time, considering that the system came out in the early 80s. We're going to be using the book Collecting Classic Video Games by Billy Galaxy. That book was published in 2002 and it contained a price guide for several classic video game systems. We'll take a look at the prices from that book adjusted for inflation and then compare them against prices for complete in-box versions of these games as listed on pricecharting.com today. I'm also going to include the rarity of these games so we can have context for whether or not the rarity of a game is contributing to its value over time. All the gameplay captured for this video was going to be captured on my own personal Vectrex. There's a few games that I couldn't capture because I don't have the right peripherals for. There was a light pin and a 3D set of 3D glasses. I don't have either of those peripherals, so for that part of the game capture, you're going to have to see some stuff that I was able to find from the internet. But for the most part, you're going to be looking at video captured on my own system, a system which I recently was able to resurrect from the trash heap. I'm very glad to have given it a new lease on life and let it star in this video. I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's jump into it. Let's take a look at the top 25 most valuable Vectrex games from 2002, and then let's compare that to today's prices so we can see if you picked up one of these games back in the day, would the price have gone up? Would it have gone down? Are you going to be able to buy a house, send your kid to college? I don't know. Let's find out together. Starting out the list at number 25 is Heads Up Action Soccer. This is a soccer game. It's, pretty straightforward as far as soccer games are concerned, but still impressive on the Vectrex. This was $108 back in 2002, and if you wanted to pick up a box copy today, it would only be $60, meaning that this one went down about 44% over the last 20 years. At number 24, we've got the arcade classic Berzerk. Berzerk was not a vector game in the arcades, but I actually think it translates pretty well to the Vectrex. Its graphics look good and the lasers look good. It's a great game, great conversion. This was $75 back in 2002, and in 2022 it goes for $51, which means it's gone down about 33%. This game has a rarity of 68, making it one of the slightly more rare games on the list. Number 23, Hyperchase. As you can see in the gameplay here, I was really wiping out a lot in Hyperchase. It had a very sensitive controls, so I don't know if I need to dial my controller in there. But this is almost kind of like Spy Hunter or something like that. It's got a cool 3D effect. In 2002, this was $70, and today it goes for about $48 boxed. That's a 31% decrease for Hyperchase Auto Race. At number 22, we've got Solar Quest. Solar Quest is more or less just Space War, which, for those of you that don't know, that was the first game ever developed at MIT, and this is kind of a version of that. In 2002, this was $73, and today in 2022, a copy of Solar Quest goes for $41. That's a 30% decrease in value, and this is not the last Space Wars. We will see. At number 21, we've got a fantastic game that you had to know was coming to Vectrex. This is Web War, and this is essentially their version of Tempest, which is another great vector game in the arcades. This game plays great, looks great, it's a great game. It was $124 back in 2002, and today to get a copy of Web Wars would be about $89, meaning it's gone down about 28%, but it's still worth it. Then we've got Clean Sweep. Now, the box you see here is actually for the ultra rare Mr. Boston Clean Sweep, and that is not the game we're looking at. We're just looking at the regular version of Clean Sweep. The Mr. Boston version was a mail away that's super rare, hard to find, extremely valuable, but box copies really don't exist. So we're just looking at regular old Clean Sweep this time, which is a Pac-Man clone. This was $66 back in 2002, and today a box copy of the regular old Clean Sweep is about $50. That's followed by Armor Attack at number 19. Armor Attack is very similar to Combat or to the tank segment of Tron. You're basically playing a little Jeep with missile launchers fighting against tanks and helicopters. This game is a lot of fun. It was $70 back in 2002, and today in 2022, a copy of Armor Attack is going to go for about $54, which unfortunately is a 23% decrease. Spike is up next at number 18. This is an interesting attempt at a platforming game for the Vectrex. It's got a little bit of Donkey Kong DNA in it, maybe Frogger a little bit, but you play a little dog who's trying to, get up these girders, as you can see I'm not doing a good job of. This was 86% back in 2002, and today a copy of Spike goes for $67, which is a 22% decrease in value. At number 17, we have the game Scramble, which was an arcade game that we've seen on some of the other lists from Konami. This is the Vectrex version. Makes a good conversion to vector graphics, as you can see. This game was going for about $65 back in 2002, and if you wanted a copy today, it would cost you about $52 for a box copy. That's only a decrease of 21%, and that's not too bad for a great arcade game like Scramble. At number 16, we've got Rip-Off. Rip-Off is an interesting game where you play a spaceship sort of trying to defend your, pylons or something from attacking aliens. It's kind of like a single-screen Defender in some ways in that sense. It's $57 back in the day in 2002, and today it goes for about $50, so not a huge decrease, about 12%. This game's not especially rare at a number 40, so that's Rip-Off. That's followed up by Bedlam, which is another kind of single-screen space game. The gameplay of this game sort of reminds me of Laser Zap or something like that. You're in the middle and you're shooting various different enemies as they come towards you in the middle of the screen. This game was about $75 back in 2002. It hasn't gone down too much. It's $69. Nice in 2022. That's a decrease of 8%. At number 14, we've got another sports game. It's Blitz, which is a football game similar to Atari's X's and O's in the arcade. Blitz was going for about $52 back in 2022 if you wanted to pick up a copy. And today, if you wanted to get a copy of Blitz, you'd be paying almost exactly the same price, $50. That means it's only gone down about 4%. This is not an especially rare game. It's a 38 on the rarity guide, and it's a pretty decent game of football. At number 13, we've got Starhawk. Starhawk recreates the trench run at the end of the first Star Wars movie, and it's got little kind of homages, quote unquote, to TIE fighters and stuff. This is a fun game, a space shooter game. It's going for about $65 back in 2002, and it's about the same today in 2022. The price is $63, which means it's only gone down about 4% over time. This game is right in the middle of rarity at a 47. Now we've got a game that was packed in with the light pin peripheral. I couldn't capture gameplay because I don't have a light pin, so I pulled this off of YouTube from Sven Kurter. And this game was $355 because it only came with the light pin, so this price includes the boxed light pin accessory. And it's almost exactly the same today. It's about $350 to get yourself a copy of Art Master with the light pin. This is relatively rare for the Vectrex at a 78. That's followed by number 11, Cosmic Chasm. When I asked the Vectrex Facebook group which game I should get for my new Vectrex, this is the one they told me to get. Cosmic Chasm is an interesting game. It's almost like an early sort of roguelike or something like that. You go into different rooms and you're shooting enemies and you choose which path you go into. This was 58 back in the day and it's 58 today, which means it hasn't really changed in value at all. So we're seeing our little hold anime girl there. That's followed up by Fortress of Narzod, which is a game where you sort of play a tank trying to attack a castle with banking shots. I was not doing very good at it, as you can see from the gameplay footage here. This game was going for $124 back in 2002. It's gone up slightly to $132 today. That's a 6% increase in value for Fortress of Narzod. That's followed up by the licensed game Star Trek The Motion Picture. This is pretty similar to the Star Trek games that were coming out at the time. There was a Star Trek vector-based game, which was, I think, was called like Bridge Commander or something like that. And this is basically just, you're in the Enterprise and you're shooting Klingons. This was $63 back in the day, and it's gone up slightly to $69 today. That's a 10% increase in value. Not especially rare at a 48. Then at number 8, we have one of the most rare games on this list. This is Pole Position, which of course is a conversion of the arcade classic Pole Position. Does a pretty good job considering that, it's doing it in vector in 2 colors. This game, because of its rarity, was $174 back in 2002, and it's maintained that value thanks to its rarity. It's gone up about 15% to $200 today, and this game has an 80 in terms of the rarity value. You can't have a good system without some video pinball, and that's what we've got at number 7. It's Spinball, which is a video pinball game. The action is fast and furious and a lot of fun if you like video pinball, which, who doesn't? This was $83 back in the day in 2002, and today a box copy of Spinball goes for about $100, which means that it's gone up about 20% in value over the last 20 years. We've got another Space War clone. This is Space Wars, as you can see, coming in at number 6. This game doesn't really incorporate the gravity of the original Space War and the one that was seen in the Nutting Associates arcade game, but it's still a pretty good version of Space War. It was $91 back in 2002, and today it goes for about $114, which is a 25% increase over the past 20 years for Space War. This game has a rarity of 56. That's followed up at number 5 by Polar Rescue, a game where you play a submarine battling enemies underwater and presumably rescuing people. I've never gotten far enough in the game to actually rescue anyone, but I'm guessing that's what you're trying to do based on the title. This game is rare, very rare, probably the most rare game on the list, and it goes for $190 back in 2002 and $243 today, which is a 28% increase in value. That's followed up by another arcade conversion. This is Star Castle, which was a game in the arcades. Star Castle is a bit like Yar's Revenge, where there's like kind of an enemy in the middle that has a shield that you're trying to break down, and typical kind of asteroids combat and movement. This game was $141 back in 2002, and today in 2022 it goes for $183, which is a 30% increase. Next, we've got another game that only works with the light pin. I do not have the light pin, which means that I had to find some video on the internet of Animaction. Animaction is a game where you would draw things and you could add slight animations to them, as you can see from the video. Because this game is for the light pin, it's relatively rare and it's expensive. It was $124 back in 2002, and it goes for about $195 today, which is a 57% increase in value for Animaction. We got another light pin peripheral game here. This is Melody Master. It's weird to think of a music game on the Vectrex, given how buzzy they are, but that's exactly what this is. You use your pen to program in notes, and then you can play tunes that you made. This game was $124 back in 2002, and now it's going for $250 for a box copy, but keep in mind you do need the light pen to play it. That's a 102% increase in value. And now, what will the final game be? The number one game that has risen in value for the Vectrex. It's 3D Mindstorm. Now, this game was a pack-in with the 3D Imager peripheral, which was a 3D pair of goggles, which is why it's so very expensive. This game will only work with the 3D goggles, and it's extremely rare at the same time, meaning that it was $825 back in 2002, and today, to get a box copy with the goggles and everything, you got to spend about $3,500. That's a 324% increase in value. And there it was. The top 25 most valuable Vectrex games from 2002, and a look at where they are today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'm working on several more videos like this, so take a moment to click the subscribe button, and while you're there, you might as well hit the like button, so you'll be notified the next time a video comes out in this series. Also, I have a playlist of the previous videos, which should be showing up somewhere over here on this side of your screen if you're watching this on a laptop. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel and checking out this video. I'm Technohead, and we'll see you next time.
We have guidance internal. 10, 9, 8, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running, commit. Blitz off. We have to start 11:22 a.m. Standard time. Keep Conrad reports that your program is in. Altitude at 1 half.